I think it's shocking to see what is going on in Afghanistan. I've been there before, visited our troops in Afghanistan years ago, and understand the real threats in that region. What surprises me is that this White House made the decision to leave without getting all of our assets and without getting all of our allies out first, and that they should have had a strategic plan for doing this to keep people safe and made sure that our resources were kept out of the hands of the Taliban to be used against the Afghan people.
You know, we've seen this a lot, obviously, in American history as recently as 2018 with the Syrian refugee crisis. Anytime there's a major conflict overseas or anywhere for that matter, there's an influx of refugees that come. And of course, with the Afghanistan situation, there's going to be an influx of these people who served alongside our military, who worked with our military, who were translators. But of course, there's going to be a lot of people who are just refugees.
Mhm.
As the governor of South Dakota, what is your stance towards allowing refugees to come into our state and settle in the state? And what are you going to do to kind of instill that policy, if you will?
Well, we've evaluated this in the past, and the decision to accept refugees was based on how thoroughly they were vetted before they came to our state. When President Trump was in office and in the White House, he put in place a process that checked the background of all these individuals, made sure that they were who they said they were, that they were true refugees, that their lives were in danger in the country they were coming from, and that they really did need to come to the United States to be safe and to be protected. That process has not been in place recently. So my hope is that with these individuals that could potentially be coming to this country and maybe even to South Dakota, that they would be thoroughly vetted. If they're not, I am not in favor of those individuals coming to the United States of America. This is a dangerous part of the world. We know that we have a lot of dangerous people there that want to do the United States harm, and they should not be coming to the United States unless we know for sure that they are an ally and a friend and don't wish to destroy this country.
You know, you talk about President Trump and how he was able to vet refugees to a standard that was acceptable to you and to a lot of Republican governors. Do you have confidence that the Biden administration is going to be able to vet Afghan refugees coming to the United States?
I don't have that confidence today because they haven't said that they're going to do that. They haven't laid out the process and been transparent about how they would identify refugees and determine the difference between them and those known terrorists or individuals that are on our terrorist watch list. So no, I guess, Austin, today I'm not confident that this White House knows who's our friend and who's not, who wants to harm us and who doesn't. So they will need to do that in order to get me to support them bringing refugees into this country. And until they do that, I'm just not in favor.
How do we, like I said, there's obviously a lot of Afghan people who have sacrificed a lot for the United States and the United States military. Like I said, translators and people who have fought with us and, helped us navigate this country. How do we balance, and how would you balance, like, these people who truly have helped the United States in their mission in Afghanistan versus unmitigated, unprecedented, really, migrants coming into the country? How do you balance these two factors?
I think the important thing right now is that we know who's assisted the United States military in the past. Get them to safety, make sure we protect them and their lives, and then make sure that we're keeping them with us until we have thoroughly vetted them and their backgrounds and we verify they are who they say they are. And that's really what needs to happen now. Now, unfortunately, Afghanistan's in crisis. People's lives are in danger. We've seen that play out on the news. It's the reality on the ground. And so getting people out of there alive and protecting them is important. But then when they do get them to safety, make sure that they're not released until we're certain that they are true refugees and allies of the United States.
You've made a trip to the southern border within the last, I guess, about a month. Mm-hmm. How concerned are you about the border policy of Biden and the current refugee situation coming out of Afghanistan and the Middle East writ large? Are you concerned that those two factors are going to play into each other and cause more people to come to our southern border?
I'm very concerned about what we see going on down at the border because we know that we have individuals crossing the border that are coming illegally. We also have seen individuals coming from over 100 different countries. So it's not our typical migration that we see coming in through those states. And then also we've identified individuals that have crossed the border that are on the known terrorist watch list. So we know there are dangerous people that are using that situation and that failing policy to enter the United States, and that they are people who would potentially do us harm. So more unrest in other parts of the world is not going to help. It's going to make it even worse. And our military is down there, our National Guard is in place, identifying individuals, doing their very best to make sure that they're stopping drugs, they're stopping human trafficking, they're stopping illegal aliens that would want to do us harm. But unfortunately, the policies coming out of the White House are not ones that are upholding federal law. And that challenges our guard in unique ways. So my hope is that the White House opens their eyes. They understand the true threats that we face. And we've got history to prove that these individuals will use any way they can to enter the United States. And when they do, they will take action to destroy us. And so I'm hopeful that this situation we have at the southern border is not going to make it more easily accessible to get into the United States from the Middle East as well.